They say we know more about outer space than we do about the depths of our own oceans. But here's the truth. Most of us know even less about the universe within ourselves. We are walking galaxies of emotion, power, and purpose, yet we spend our lives exploring everything outside of us and almost nothing within. We spend so much of our lives looking outward, chasing what's out there. The stars, success, recognition, approval, as if the answers to who we are exist somewhere beyond our reach. But what if the greatest universe we could ever explore isn't out there in the night sky, but right here within ourselves? Humanity has built telescopes that can see billions of light years away, yet we struggle to look a few inches inward to truly face what lives inside of us. We explore the vastness of space, but we avoid the vastness of our own souls. The truth is, we are all walking galaxies, entire universes of emotion, thought, strength, and potential, yet we spend most of our lives ignoring the one place where all real discovery begins within. We live in an age where we glorify external exploration. We climb mountains, we cross oceans, we travel the world trying to find ourselves. But you don't find yourself in foreign places. You find yourself in stillness and silence, in the moments when you have nowhere left to hide. We fill our calendars, our feeds, our minds with constant movement, believing that the next milestone will bring us peace. But peace doesn't come from reaching new destinations. It comes from understanding the terrain of your own heart. The stars out there may light up the sky, but the light that truly guides you is the one that burns quietly within your chest. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world, the comparisons, the expectations, the endless doing. You start to forget that there's an entire universe inside you waiting to be explored. A place where your creativity lives, where your resilience hides, where your intuition whispers. That's your cosmic ocean, deep, mysterious, and powerful. But like any ocean, it requires courage to dive into. It's dark down there, unpredictable and raw. That's why most people stay at the surface of themselves. They skim through life, afraid to face what's underneath, the pain, the fear, the truth. But if you never go deeper, you'll never find the treasures that make you who you are. The irony is, the further you go within, the more connected you become to everything beyond yourself. The more you understand your own emotions, the more empathy you gain for others. The more you recognize your own power, the more you see it reflected in the world around you. It's all connected. The stars, the ocean, your heartbeat, your breath. You are not a separate observer of the universe. You are an expression of it. And until you learn to explore your own depths, the beauty of the cosmos will always feel distant. So stop chasing what's out there for a moment and turn your gaze inward. The courage it takes to face yourself is the same courage that built civilizations and reached the stars. Within you lives an entire galaxy of potential, waiting to be understood, expressed, and unleashed. You don't need to discover the universe. You need to remember that you already are one. Depth is not something you find in comfort. It's not discovered in the easy moments or the perfectly planned days. Depth demands courage, the courage to go beneath the surface of who you appear to be and face who you truly are. Most people live at the surface, staying where it feels safe. They keep the water calm and clear, afraid that if they dive deeper, they'll stir something up they can't control. But the truth is, real strength, clarity, and freedom are never found on the surface. They're discovered in the depths, in the places we're often too afraid to explore. Facing your depth means confronting truth, and truth isn't always gentle. It exposes what you hide behind your smile, what you bury under your busy schedule, what you avoid when the room gets quiet. It reveals the fears you pretend you've conquered and the wounds you tell yourself no longer matter. But it's in facing those things, not avoiding them, that transformation begins. Growth doesn't come from perfection. It comes from presence, from being brave enough to say, this is where I am, and I'm willing to see what's beneath it. We live in a culture that glorifies control and comfort. We're taught to manage our emotions, to maintain appearances, to keep things light. But nothing meaningful grows in shallow water. The people who evolve, who inspire, who create lasting impact, they're the ones who've learned to dive deep into their own chaos. They've met their pain, their fear, their doubt, and come out the other side stronger. Because when you dive deep, you stop running from yourself. You stop fearing what's inside you. You realize that the parts of you you've tried to bury are not your weakness. They're your foundation. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move through it. It's saying, I may not like what I find in the dark, but I trust that I can handle it. And that's what depth gives you, trust. Not in the world, not in outcomes, but in yourself. Once you've faced your own storms, you stop being afraid of the weather. You stop breaking every time something outside of you shakes. You begin to anchor yourself in your truth. Every one of us carries an ocean within, vast, mysterious, and untamed. And just like the real ocean, its beauty lies in its depth. The calm surface might look peaceful, but the power lies far below. That's where the current lives, where movement happens, where life begins. You are no different. Your potential, your resilience, your creativity, they all live in your depths. But you can't reach them if you keep standing in the shallows, afraid of what the dark might reveal. So take a breath and dive. Dive into your fear, into your silence, into your truth, because depth will never drown you. It will teach you how to breathe differently. It will strip away who you think you are so you can finally meet who you were meant to be. And once you've gone that deep, the surface will never satisfy you again. Real strength is rarely loud. It doesn't need to announce itself or seek validation. True strength lives beneath the surface. In the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the private battles you fight within yourself, in the resilience you build while the world keeps spinning. We often mistake strength for how much we can show or how well we can perform under pressure, but power isn't about the image you project. It's about the depth of what you've endured and how you rise after you fall. The calm you see on the surface of the ocean doesn't reveal the immense force moving underneath. You are the same. Your power is built in places no one sees. Strength is not developed in comfort. It's forged in moments of uncertainty, when everything feels unstable and you have to rely on yourself to find direction. Those moments test you. They demand that you choose between giving up and going on. And every time you choose to keep going, even when you're tired or afraid, you're building something deeper than confidence. You're building character. You're proving to yourself that your spirit is stronger than your circumstance. That's what real strength is. Not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of persistence. The world tends to celebrate results, not resilience. People see the outcome, the success, the smile, the achievement, but they rarely see the nights of doubt, the private tears, the quiet conversations you've had with yourself just to keep moving. Yet it's in those unseen moments that strength takes root. Every challenge, every loss, every setback you've faced has added a new layer of depth to your power. You may not realize it while you're in it, but the storms you survive are not breaking you, they're building you. And sometimes strength means not fighting at all. It means having the wisdom to pause, to breathe, to trust that not every wave needs to be conquered. Some just need to be ridden. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I'm still here. It's the quiet knowing that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to rise again. When you stop measuring strength by how much you can endure and start recognizing it by how much you grow, you begin to understand your true power. Just like the ocean, your power lies in your depth. The surface is only the beginning. What's visible to the world is just a fraction of who you are. The most powerful currents of your life run deep inside your resilience, your empathy, your will to rise. That's where transformation happens. So don't be afraid of the weight you carry. Don't mistake vulnerability for weakness or silence for surrender. The moments when you feel unseen, unheard, or uncertain, those are the moments shaping you into something stronger than before. Remember this: strength is not in how loudly you stand, but in how deeply you endure. The surface might fool others, but you know the truth. Your real power has always been beneath it, waiting for you to recognize it, own it, and rise from it. The bravest people you will ever meet are not the ones who have it all figured out. They're not the ones who walk through life untouched by pain or protected by perfection. The bravest people are the ones who have gone inward, who have looked at their own darkness and refused to run from it. They've faced the storm within themselves and chosen to rise from it instead of hiding beneath it. Because going inward requires a kind of courage the world doesn't often celebrate. The courage to be honest, vulnerable, and accountable to your own truth. Most people avoid that journey. They live on the surface, where it's easier to play roles, wear masks, and meet expectations. They convince themselves that if they look strong, they'll feel strong. But real bravery doesn't come from appearances. It comes from awareness. It comes from the quiet moments when you admit that something inside you needs healing. When you confront your fears instead of burying them. When you stop blaming the world for your pain and start asking, what part of this do I need to understand? That's not weakness. That's strength in its purest form. The ones who go inward learn to navigate their emotions like deep sea divers, slow, deliberate, unafraid of the pressure. They don't avoid discomfort. They explore it because they understand that every feeling, even the painful ones, holds a message. Anger shows where boundaries have been crossed. Sadness reveals what needs release. Fear points to the places where growth is waiting. When you listen to those messages instead of silencing them, you gain control over yourself. Not by suppressing your emotions, but by understanding them. That's what makes you powerful, the ability to face what's real without running from it. The bravest people aren't fearless. They just refuse to let fear make their decisions. They've learned that you can't escape pain, but you can transform it. They've cried, broken, rebuilt, and kept moving. They've stood in the mirror and said, this is me, flawed, imperfect, but still worthy. And that's what makes them unshakable. Because once you've met your own truth, the world loses its power to define you. Criticism doesn't break you. Rejection doesn't destroy you. You've already faced the hardest person you'll ever have to. Yourself. Going inward doesn't make you softer. It makes you stronger. It teaches you to respond instead of react, to lead with empathy instead of ego, to find peace in places others find chaos. The bravest people don't fight the world, they master themselves. They move through life with quiet confidence, knowing they've survived their own storms. That's what true courage looks like. Not the absence of fear, but the ability to stand firm in spite of it. So when life shakes you, when the noise around you grows too loud, remember to go inward. The answers you're searching for aren't out there. They've always been within. Meet yourself with honesty, face your shadows, and trust that what you find there will not destroy you. It will free you. Because the bravest journey you'll ever take is the one that leads you back to yourself. The universe that so many of us spend our lives searching for outwardly, in stars, in achievements, in the validation of others, is not out there. It has always been inside of us. The cosmos isn't just something we observe. It's something we carry. Every heartbeat, every thought, every spark of creativity mirrors the same energy that forms galaxies. The realization that the universe exists within you changes everything. Suddenly, you are no longer a passive observer of life, waiting for meaning to appear. You are a living expression of it. You are the galaxy you've been trying to find. Most people spend their lives seeking external confirmation, hoping the world will tell them they are enough. They look for meaning in promotions, relationships, possessions, and accomplishments, believing that these will complete them. But no achievement or approval can replace self-recognition. The universe inside you is infinite, and its vastness cannot be measured by external standards. It is made of your thoughts, your dreams, your imagination, and your courage. And the more you explore it, the more you understand that all the answers you've been chasing were never outside. They've been part of you all along. The cosmic ocean inside is not always calm. It has currents, tides, and storms just like the universe itself. There are moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty when it feels as if the darkness might overwhelm you. But even in those moments, there is light. Every challenge, every emotional upheaval, every difficulty you face is part of the flow of this internal cosmos. They are not signs of weakness, but signs that your universe is alive, evolving, and expanding. When you embrace the turbulence within, you realize that the same energy that created stars also flows through you, giving you resilience, creativity, and infinite potential. Connecting with the universe inside requires awareness and courage. It asks you to pause, to look inward, to listen to the silent wisdom of your own soul. You begin to notice patterns, strengths, and insights that were always there but buried beneath distraction, noise, or self-doubt. Every thought you cultivate, every emotion you process, every act of self-understanding expands your inner cosmos. You are not just living in the universe, you are the universe experiencing itself through your mind and body. That realization transforms fear into confidence, doubt into clarity, and limitation into possibility. Ultimately, when you recognize the cosmic ocean within your life shifts, you stop searching for meaning elsewhere because you know it exists inside you. Your sense of purpose becomes rooted in self-awareness and self-mastery rather than external approval. You begin to act from alignment with your own inner universe, not from the expectations of others. The universe outside becomes a reflection of the one you've already discovered within yourself. You are not a small part of the cosmos. You are a living, breathing embodiment of it. And when you live from that truth, your impact, your presence, and your potential are limitless. The cosmos you've been seeking in the stars has been inside you all along, waiting to be recognized, honored, and unleashed.